friends, Dr. Nels here for segment 2 of our thoughts. And last week was what's formulating our thoughts, how do our thoughts formulated? And this week we want to talk about how are we capturing those thoughts. And so if you're like me, and I think there's a lot of people like me, I don't think I'm that unusual, although I do think it's good to be weird and to be different because normal's just average. And I never want to be average. But if you're like me, your mind is wandering and spinning a lot. It's spinning all the time. And which can be good, can be bad. And so when do we need to be focused in and not spinning? And when do we have time to spin our mind to create those thoughts? Oftentimes when we're driving, while we're at home at night or in the morning or at 2 in the morning and your mind is spinning and you have thoughts. In the mind, subconsciously, you're producing thousands of fleeting thoughts all day, every day. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You probably just had one an hour ago, and now if you're like me, you can't remember it. And so my question to you is, how are you capturing those thoughts? And so I first learned this from John Maxwell probably pushing 15 years ago. It's been quite a long time ago, and he taught me in that we have all these thousands of fleeting thoughts, and how am I capturing those? Because some of those thoughts can create value. Some of those thoughts can help yourself magnificently. Some of those thoughts can help others. But most importantly is, where do you want to go? And last week we talked about, all right, what are we consuming and who are the 7 people around the most? Because those two things are formulating our thoughts. And are they matching up with where we want to be down the road in 10 years, 20 years? Are they aligning with your vision for yourself, for your marriage, for your family, for your business? And then now that we know what we need to do, now that we know what we need to consume and the people we need to be around, how are we capturing those thoughts that are being created by those two things? And I would challenge you, how are you capturing those thoughts? I would tell you, for me, it began literally in probably about 2005, when prior to that I could manage all my thoughts in my brain, or I thought I could, and I wanted to be here, and I could manage all my to-do lists in my brain. But about in 2005, actually when I bought Animal Medical Center, when my wife and I bought Animal Medical Center, I started to have more things that I needed to keep track of and to write down my thoughts. So fast forward to today, where I write down my thoughts, it's in a lot of places. I have several places. The beautiful part about today is the digital aspects, computers, phones. There's virtually no reason to not be able to put down not all your thoughts, but anything you think are significant, or any thought that you need to have written down to be able to come back to build on whatever you're trying to build upon. There's OneNote, there's email, there's calendars, there's massive amounts of ways to capture your thoughts today. Maybe it's simply a thoughts notebook that you have with you at work, that you have with you at home, that you have with you in your vehicle. And how are you capturing your thoughts? And for me personally, that's part of how we have these vlogs, is I'll have a thought and I jot it down and we put it on the to-do list. I do this with many areas and aspects of our life, and getting things done and executing. They're typically one of those 1,000 fleeting thoughts, and I have my go-to typically about 3 different places where I'm capturing those thoughts and know I need to get those executed. So what are you doing with your 1,000 fleeting thoughts a day? I promise you, if you do that and you start writing them down, getting them organized in the manner that works for you, and you do that for a decade, big things will happen for you. I promise you. But you've got to, A, consume the right material, consume the right media, the books, the sermons, whatever it might be, consuming massive amounts of the right material, being around 7 people that will drive you in the direction of your dreams and visions, because those create your thoughts. And then in turn is, how are you capturing those thoughts to get you from point A to point B? And holding yourself accountable to those action items that you then have taken from thought to action to execution and getting them done. And I think Pastor Cale is sitting here recording. How exactly did you put that?
The idea is that thoughts become actions, actions become habits, and then habits dictate the course in which you live your life.
So repeat that one more time for our audience.
So in a lot of ways, in both negatively and positively, thoughts become actions. Whatever you ingest becomes something that you do, something that you believe in. It makes it from your head to your heart, right? And then, so actions become thoughts. Thoughts then become habits, and then habits determine how you live out your life.
Actions, habits, determine your direction. And for folks, this is really off the cuff. He's got to come over here now. You have to come over here. They have to see you. He didn't know this. He doesn't really want to be seen, but you can see his shirt. It's a great shirt. This is Cale Bloom. You've never met him. He's been recording. We've been recording, working together now for a year to two.
Almost 2 years. 2 years.
Almost 2 years. So this is Cale Bloom. He's a rock star. He's got good thoughts. Good marketing gentleman, and I thought you needed to meet him since he's been speaking behind the camera. We're glad to have him. So that's what we have for you today, folks. The two-part series of what's developing, what's formulating your thoughts, what are you consuming, the people you're hanging around with, and then how are you capturing those thoughts that then can turn into actions, that then can turn into habits, and those habits really formulate and dictate who you become, who you are. And at the end of the day, that's what all of these vlogs really are about, for you, for those around you, for your businesses, for your families, for your schools, for your teams. And we're glad we can help you. We hope you enjoy this material. Click subscribe here, share with your friends, family. We'd love to have you. Thanks for joining us. Glad you got to meet Pastor Cale. We'll see you in a week. Thanks.